The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys!
This is Cowboys Storylines with Nick Eatman.
What is up? It is time for another edition of Cowboys Storyline. I am Nick Eatman here at Oxnard, California. My favorite producer of all time is here, Chris Beam. Man, do I owe him a big round of something. We are here. We got big news. Malik Hooker is the big news. And it was supposed to be because he's going to join the set. We did an interview with him, just to tell you how it goes. We did an interview with him already. And then, of course, news broke a little bit after that. So now we're switching up a little bit. We're going to throw to the interview later on in the segment. We're going to start, though, right now, like we do with every show. We start with storylines. You know, I don't know why I never really played baseball, but I think it's probably because I couldn't hit a curveball very well. I might have just wanted it, like, right down the middle. You know, don't do anything curves. And that's what happens sometimes in our business. Get thrown a little curveball every now and again. Hopefully we can knock this one out of the park. We'll see. But we're doing this live. This is the first time that Cowboy Storyline has been live. So hopefully we'll be able to answer some of your texts. And in our new text line, which is 817-290-3298. 817-290-3298. All right. Let's get after it here. Let's talk about Malik Hooker. Is in the process as we speak of probably signing a 3-year extension worth about $24 million. About $16 million of that, from my understanding, is guaranteed. Locks him up. Now, this was supposed to be a contract year, which is what I asked him about. So he did tell me that it would have been nice. He could have maybe said a little bit more to it than that. But this thing, from what I hear, it really just kind of popped up. This is one of those deals where the agent, Cowboys, would say, hey, let's get this thing knocked out. And this is good because this locks up your secondary and your safety position. You got Donovan Wilson on a 3-year deal. Now you got 3 more years with Malik Hooker, obviously Trayvon Diggs as well. We'll see where how long Gilmore plays for, but still you've got your secondary that's in really, really good spot right now. So I think this is a big deal for the Cowboys. Obviously a big deal for Malik Hooker. So that's what we're looking at right now for the Cowboys. I would imagine he will sign his contract later today, and we probably will get him on the podium for the media to talk about him. Talk about his contract here at some point in the next couple of days. So Malik Hooker wasn't the guy on my bingo card that I had for the next one to sign. But I will say this: Isaiah Stanback is a witness to this. I made a claim yesterday from 2 things that I saw on the field, just body language from different people. I said, in the next 24 hours, someone is signing a new contract. I did not have it as Malik Hooker, so I don't know if that even counts, but that's another guy. That's not even somebody that we thought really was gonna be in the mix for a new deal. But I like that they did, and so let's move on. Let's look at real quick safety position again. Like we said, right now Donovan Wilson banged up, but he did sign a 3-year deal. He's been out most of training camp. Israel Mukuamu has been out with a hamstring injury as well. So the 2 of them banged up, not in the lineup, which actually can be a good thing for others. Wanye Thomas has gotten a lot of reps. Tyler Coyle has gotten some snaps in there. Of course, Malik Hooker as well. So we're going to see, obviously, a lot more of Malik. First-round draft pick from the Colts a few years back. He's been dealing with injuries, but now this is really his 3rd season with the Cowboys, and clearly they are liking what they're seeing out of him, obviously, to lock him up for 3 years. All right, again, if you want to send a text on the text line, we are live here, 817-290-3298. We've gotten a lot of texts and some calls and some emails, tweets that we will read, and I'll answer for the 3rd segment. Again, we've got an interview in the can with Malik Hooker, and he's going to have a great poker face when it comes to asking about a new contract because he didn't really talk about it. But he talked about a lot of other cool stuff, which we will discuss. Okay, more storylines really quick here. Every day, Zach Martin isn't here. It's another $50,000 fine for him. And again, I'm not too concerned about it from his standpoint, other than losing $50,000 a year. I guess he's okay with that. But I do think he should be staying off his feet. He's probably staying in shape, and he knows the offense well. He's a plug and play guy without a doubt. So when he comes back, it'll be fine. Maybe an hour of rust. He should be ready to go. As long as he's there for the Giants, I don't think anyone's too concerned. But you want a happy Zach Martin. You want someone that is, he's the ultimate professional. So I don't think it's going to be a problem with him coming back. You hope that the situation is resolved to the point where he can come in and do his job whenever that is, whenever that happens. In the meantime, Josh Ball has taken a lot of snaps there at right guard. I think he looks pretty good. I was a little surprised, honestly, that he's done that. I've always thought he's a tackle, and that's mainly me stereotyping the fact that he's 6'8". If you're 6'8", you're probably in the NBA, and if not, if you're going to play football, you're going to be at either the tackle spot or maybe defensive end. What do we talk about in the trenches? How do you get beat? It's the leverage, and when you're 6'8", every defensive tackle is already lower than you, so it's really tough to play that position when you're that tall. That's the challenge I think Josh Ball is going to be dealing with right now. And we'll see. I think these are valuable reps that he is getting, and he'll be in there for the preseason. We did see a question here about what the preseason offensive line, the starting five, is going to look like. That was not the easiest question to answer. So I think. But this is what we're talking about right now. This is what happens in the preseason. You're not as worried about the Zach Martin right now. Yes, chemistry is a thing. You'd like for him to kind of work with the guys, but I think whenever he does come back, whenever that is, I think that they're going to be just fine. All right, like I said, we've got the Cowboys text line. This is, I think, the second day that we've had this on the podcast. Cowboys Break used it yesterday. I know Talking Cowboys did, some of the other shows as well. I'll definitely be using it when the season comes. When I'm back at the Star, I'll definitely be using this for sure, and using it now as well. In fact, we just got one in. It looks like a 215 area code. Question is about the Hooker contract. He said, with Hooker's deal and Diggs' deal as well as getting Gilmore, it seems the team has done a 180 when it comes to paying DBs since Brandon Carr. I don't know if it's been a 180. I don't think that they've changed the mentality of corners and safeties. I think it's the fact that they've got good ones that they could, they can get in here and pay. I mean, this is a team that moved up to the number 6th pick in the draft and surprised everyone to go get Morris Claiborne. Didn't work out. Mo wasn't, I don't know, wasn't as good as he was in college. I mean, as simple as that. His confidence wasn't great for a corner. You have to have that, and that he wasn't just a great player, but as great as you would want your number 6 pick to be. I don't think they've done a 180, honestly, in paying them. I think they really like what Hooker can do. Gilmore, I think where they made the big change, and I kind of see where you're going. I think the 180 was going to get veteran guys and doing what you need to do, whether it be a trade, giving up draft capital to go get a Gilmore, go get Brandon Cooks. That, to me, was the biggest change. They love to pick players. They love draft picks. So to give draft picks up is not the easiest thing, even though they did it and they got a couple of veterans. I think that the mindset is always to keep the corners and safeties and have a great secondary. I just think they've got better ones than they've had in the past. That's kind of what I think here. So bear with me. I'm trying to see if we've got any more questions about this. Not really about so far about the Malik Hooker deal. Some of these others, though, we'll definitely take here in the third segment here. So, all right, we're going to move on, and we're going to take a break. Again, remember, we interviewed Malik Hooker earlier in the day. The show was supposed to go out a little earlier. We interviewed him. So he's got a night. He talks about a lot of things. At that moment, he really could not speak at all to the contract signing, so that it won't be included in this. But we'll definitely talk with him. It's a fun interview. He has some great things to say about his teammates. So we'll be right back here with a word from Malik Hooker.
I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. Blockchain.com is one of the most trusted ways to buy, sell, and trade crypto. Whether you're always on the go or stay closer to home, Blockchain.com is just a few taps away. Put the power of crypto in your pocket, so no matter where you are, you can trade on your terms and build a crypto portfolio to fit your life. For crypto pros, rookies, and anyone in between, Blockchain.com makes it easy to own a piece of the future. Blockchain.com, trusted by millions, trusted by America's team.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
Star Sports Tours is the only official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, offering exclusive game weekend travel packages with pre-game sideline access and photo ops with current players, cheerleaders, and Cowboy legends. You want to stay at a team hotel, attend the best tailgate party in Texas, tour the Star, and talk X's and O's with me, Everson Walls? With Star Sports Tours, you can. Visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today.
We know that juicy, cheesy, grilled to perfection burger sounds amazing, but it does sound like something is missing. Pepsi, baby! The yin to this burger's yang. Burgers and Pepsi go together like burgers and Pepsi. This perfect blending of flavors makes every bite of lettuce, every sesame seed on the bun, and every sip of that crisp, refreshing, ice-cold cola a journey to Foodtopia. Burgers, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
Back to Cowboys Storylines.
Welcome back to Cowboys Storylines. I'm Nick Eatman, joined by safety Malik Hooker. Joins the show here. And Malik, it's been 2 years since they just brought you in here in the middle of camp. That seems like 20 years ago. It probably feels that way for you, too. Just so many things that have changed and kind of where the situation is now. How much are you enjoying this stance now as opposed to where you were before?
Oh, man, I'm definitely enjoying it a lot. Obviously, when I first came in, wasn't really sure what to expect, as far as coming to a new team, obviously building with some new guys. And, this last 2 years being here with these guys, man, it's been special. It's been special, none short of less. We're real close off the field. We do a lot of our events and stuff together off the field. So, I couldn't ask for more from this group right now.
Because when you got here, obviously you were a first-round draft pick with the Colts, and you made some plays, and, of course, the injuries were an issue.
Yeah.
Was it kind of weird to come here and say, I got to prove myself again, or was that kind of the exciting part about it?
No, it was exciting for me, because, you go through all these dark times, obviously, like you said, coming off of the injuries and stuff like that. And these are questions that you ask yourself, am I going to be the same player I was before? Am I going to be able to perform at a high level like I was before, and all these things? And, like you said, the good thing about it, you get to prove it to yourself. And I feel like I've done a good job of doing that a little bit here in Dallas.
All right, I don't know if you've seen a lot of movies like this or what kind of movies you see, but what does a three-headed monster really look like? And what is their biggest strength? Maybe they can see everything? It's smart.
Based off of some of the movies I've seen, you'll see that, it's always different characteristics out of the three-headed monsters. They're unique in their own way, whether one shoots fireballs or one does this. It's just in movies you see different stuff from them. So, as far as for here, it's kind of the same thing. We're all unique and different in our own way. And, the job roles that we're kind of placed in, we all do that at a very high level, and we're very impactful at the roles we're given.
So everybody's got different traits, different roles. I know loudest in the locker room's got to be J-Ron Curry, right? We can hear it before we even get in the locker room. What do you bring to the table that's different? Are you going to sit? Are you the fastest? Are you I mean, probably the most experienced, I would imagine.
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably say just the ball skills of it aspect, because, throughout most of my career, I've always been the high safety, the free safety, the cover guy. And, so I'll say more so that aspect of it. I mean, obviously those two guys, they cover too and stuff like that, but they don't get too many chances to really roam the middle of the field and stuff like that because of, their characteristics. Them both guys that play the box at a high level. You see JK cover the best of the best week in and week out and perform at a high level. Obviously, you see Donald cover as well as, being the impact player that he is and doing different roles. So you just never know what to expect, and that's what's so unique about our room. We got guys that's capable of playing multi-positions and doing it at a high level.
Did you ever play baseball?
Yeah, I used to play in middle school. I stopped playing.
What was your position?
Center field.
I was about to say that's what I was going for here because I was like, that's kind of where you are. And when Micah and Dorrance and those guys are just having a party at the quarterback and they had to get rid of it.
Exactly. So it's like we're kind of all. I mean, it's unique because we're in a special situation where you have all the pieces to make it like that. We have the great defensive line that's able to stop the run and rush the quarterback when past situations. We have those guys under that's able to be sticky on receivers outside. From Steph and Diggs. So, man, it's just the perfect combination here for our defense. And like I said, guys that's unique in their own way and that able to fit in their role at a high level.
I feel like that Rams game where you had the interception there late, I feel like that was kind of the epitome of what this defense is trying to do is just get after the quarterback, make him uncomfortable, making him throw when he doesn't want to, and then you got back-end players that can make big plays there and kind of seal the deal there. Yeah,
that absolutely. I mean, it's funny because our back end, even from the linebackers, like, man, we got Damone and Leighton, that guys, like, they're very instinctive players too, and they're capable of, catching interceptions as if they're DBs and stuff like that. So, man, this team's just so unique and, special, and I can't wait to see what we get done this year.
Tell me about 11. I mean, just because, okay, when a quarterback gets to the line of scrimmage, it seems like he's got to, okay, where is Parsons? And where a lot of these guys are, probably starts like, where is he lined up because he lines up everywhere. As a safety back there, you also need to know, okay, where he is because that's where more attention's going to be and all that stuff. I mean, do you kind of have to find where your superstar guys are? I mean, not really because, like I said, man, there's guys like we're able to do whatever we want with so many guys. Like, even if you don't send a Micah Parsons, we got guys that's from the secondary that we can send that'll be just as impactful and stuff like that. And not for nothing, like, on the other side of Micah, you got D.A. and Micah, D-Law and guys like that coming off the edge on the opposite side of Micah. So, man, it's just like pick your poison at this point because you just never know which guy on that specific play do we want to be impactful, I should have known this. This is contract year for you, right?
Yep, contract year.
That used to be a big deal. Is it nowadays? Is like because a lot of these guys, when you get older in your career, you sign an either 1 year or 2 year deal, and even if you have years on the deal, if you doesn't perform like you want, that it's a business. So is it always kind of feel like a contract year, so to speak? I mean,
yeah, it's definitely. Because at the end of the day, you always, like, whether you're a starter or a guy that's trying to earn a roster spot on it, you're always in a competition, because at the end of the day, this is the highest level of ball that you can play. You're playing with the best of the best. So, as a starter, you can sit there and say, all right, well, I'm going to hang off a little bit, but little do a lot of guys and a lot of fans know that second team guy, he's just as good as a starter is and can go in there and do the same thing. So
you wanna get some of these questions here?
Yeah,
got some questions specifically for you here. All right, so we're starting off this new text line. This is our first time I've actually been able to use it for this show. Chris. Sorry, Castellano. I messed that up. But he says, this is to you. Where would you rank this current defense from all the defenses you've been on in your NFL career? I guess that could include last year's team as well.
This year, I'll say number one. Just because the simple fact of, how much more knowledge a lot of guys got from this defense. Some of us being 3 years in the system, some guys being 2 years in the system. I feel like, we're just that much better because we know what to expect and we know what the standard and the bar we've set years before has come, and we know that we're capable of beating that. So, I feel like this year that, a lot of guys that people wouldn't expect are going to shine, you know, and it's going to just be from the simple fact of just doing your job and being within the system.
Give me one of those guys. Give me a name. Somebody we're not expecting that's going to shine.
I'll go Izzy Mukwamu.
Yeah.
I think him coming out of the secondary, I think, man, he's going to have a special year, man, just off of the simple fact of the work he's put in. You know, how all betting on himself he is on getting his job done, whether it's, you know, being down in the box or covering, whatever the case may be, man. I just feel like he's put the time in, as well as, you know, out of the linebacker room, I'll say Damone. You know, I've watched him personally take the next step,
Nick,
you know,
just
whether it's as simple as being a step faster on the play and stuff like that, man. He's put the time in the film room to be able to capitalize on the plays that he felt he should have been better on last year.
He kind of reminds me of you in the sense of that, and I'm not saying that, you know, guys don't have fun, but it seems kind of like a no-nonsense business type approach that he's walked in the door with.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's because, I mean, and the good thing about our culture here, like, guys, you know, we know how to be professionals when we're supposed to be. So, you know, since he came in from day one, he's been one of those guys that, you know, he picked a vet, and whoever that vet was, that's who he was studying about how to go about being a pro and stuff like that. And, you know, in his room, you know, he's been around Leighton. Leighton's been in the league for multiple years. There were some other guys that we had in the room that was let go. I'll say Luke Gifford. Man, he was a real pro as far as just handling his business and going about his business every day. So he has some good role models in his rooms to look after and stuff like that. So I feel like that's why he tends to be so serious. But, man, if you talk to him on offside the field, man, you know, he laughs.
He's crazy.
Yeah.
Good. That's good. Going back to Mukwamu, first practice, he gets banged up, hamstring injury, and then Donovan Wilson also with a setback as well. Yes, you want all your guys together, but it's also, could there be silver lining that these younger safeties, the Wanye Thomases of the world, and Tyler Coyle and guys like that are going to get chances to do some stuff out here?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, those guys, I mean, just as well as, like I said, those other guys, those are guys that took that next step as far as, you know, been putting the time and the work in this offseason, you know, waiting for their opportunity to come about. And I feel like, you know, this year they're going to do what they're supposed to be able to make, you know, their way on the field regardless of what's going to happen, you know, whether it be at some point in the season if somebody's banged up or, you know, going through a sickness or something like that. I feel like those guys are very capable of going out there and still performing at the high level that and the standard that we held here.
Nice. All right. Two questions from fans here. Daniel Barnett. He says, with Diggs and Gilmore now locking down the outside, do you expect people to attack? How do you expect people to attack through the air? Do you think you'll get a little bit more coverage, or are they going to just dump it off the running backs?
Oh, man, it's hard to say because, I mean, like I said, just the so many guys being so effective in other areas, like, man, it's hard to say because, I mean, as well as Diggs and, you know, Gilly being out there locked down, you look on the inside, you tell me how many tight ends caught a lot of passes on JK being down in the box. So it's like at this point, like, it's just, like I said, pick your poison.
Throw it to center field.
Yeah, like, just it's going to have to be just a jump ball to somebody or something like that. But even with that, like, we got great guys. Myself, like I said, you brought up a couple guys, Wanye, who's done a great job coming out of the middle. We got so many guys that's capable of making an impactful play coming out of the middle field, too, that, you know, we're looking forward to it.
All right, last one. This is from David in South Texas, and he's kind of flipping it for the offensive side of the ball. But since you're back there seeing all this, do you see big differences in McCarthy's offense this year from what you saw last year? And also, do you see Dak a little bit more confident, more in control?
Yeah, I definitely feel like, you know, this year Dak's just, I guess, like you said, he's more calm. He's confident back there. You know, he's making a lot of throws that some people felt like he wouldn't have been making years before and stuff like that. And even with it, like, he looks good doing it. You know, those guys, he's getting the ball in the playmakers' hands like they're asking him to do, and those guys, and they're making plays like they're supposed to. So, man, I'm looking forward to seeing what those guys do on offense.
Any big differences, though, that you see? Like, is it more underneath stuff? Are they using Cooks in a way that could be pretty dangerous for defenses?
I would say they're just putting the ball more in Dak's hands a little more, letting him give him a little more free roam to, you know, to be able to make plays like the playmaker he is back there. And, I mean, we're trusting in the decision that he's making the right plays when he gets a chance to do that. And, like I said, I mean, Dak's the guy that, you know, puts his time and all his efforts into making the team better in each way. I mean, like, as you've seen, like, it's been a battle out here. It ain't been lopsided defense, whooping on offense. It's been competition every day, so that just tells you how far they've come.
You didn't say offense whipping on the defense.
Okay,
you didn't say that. You just said defense.
I just said it's been good
days. Competitive. Okay. I was wondering if you were going to go like both sides there. That's good. Good to know. Yeah. And it usually happens like that. Usually the defense, especially when installing a new offense, the defense always seems to have a little bit kind of a leg up early on. And so, but I'll say that some of those goal line drills and things like that, where they're offensive drills, it is kind of tougher when there's no pass rush.
Yeah, I mean, it is tougher, but that's just putting that much effort in us and seeing how good we can be. Because, I mean, like you said, if there's no pass rush and we can cover all day with something like that, man, I feel like, that makes us the difference when it comes down to, the late games when we need we need to make a play. I feel like then we're going to be in shape to be able to do so.
Awesome. Well, it's been fun having you here, fun talking to you. Thanks so much. This is Malik Hooker, Cowboys safety. He's expecting even bigger things from this defense this year. We'll be right back here on Cowboys Storyline to answer more of your fan questions.
Ayo.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. Blockchain.com is one of the most trusted ways to buy, sell, and trade crypto. Whether you're always on the go or stay closer to home, Blockchain.com is just a few taps away. Put the power of crypto in your pocket, so no matter where you are, you can trade on your terms and build a crypto portfolio to fit your life. For crypto pros, rookies, and anyone in between, Blockchain.com makes it easy to own a piece of the future. Blockchain.com, trusted by millions, trusted by America's team.
Hey Cowboys fans, ready to spice up your next watch party? Bring Yo Quiero guacamole and be the game day hero. Yo Quiero means I want, and we know you want great, fresh-tasting, ready-to-serve guacamole for your home gating and tailgating events. Made with real avocados and the perfect blend of spices, it will be the star of any party. You can find us at your local Albertsons or Tom Thumb in the deli section. If you can't find it, talk to your store manager and tell them, Yo Quiero guacamole.
Star Sports Tours is the only official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, offering exclusive game weekend travel packages with pre-game sideline access and photo ops with current players, cheerleaders, and Cowboy legends. You want to stay at a team hotel, attend the best tailgate party in Texas, tour the Star, and talk X's and O's with me, Everson Walls? With Star Sports Tours, you can. Visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today.
Back to Cowboys Storylines.
All right, we got one more segment here on Cowboys Storyline. I'm Nick Eatman here. We want to thank Malik Hooker. It's been a busy day for him, obviously, getting a chance to talk with him. And like we said earlier, just a few minutes after he sat down with us is when all that stuff kind of started to break. So you can tell when I asked him about, tried to get him, I was like, is this a contract year for you? And he was like, yeah, it is. So, like I said before, take him to the poker table. He's going to be pretty good. But yeah, big news for the Cowboys. Big news for him. 817-290-3298 is the Cowboys text line. We just started this a couple of days ago, and we've got some text in here. One of them from a 214 number. Actually, from McKinney. Logan from McKinney's his name. He says, after this Hooker deal, how much is the hit this year? How much space do we have left? It's just kind of it hasn't actually hit the books just yet. And so they're still kind of talking a little bit. I think the deal is somewhat done. The numbers that you see vary a lot. I've seen $4 to $5 million this year. I've seen actually less than that. The cap space thing, to me, I never really talk about cap space. I never try to answer that question because it's so fluid. They can do whatever they want to do. If they wanted to sign CD and Dak, they could do it. They can do it right now. It's all about moving money around. You got to be creative. That's kind of what they do. So it's irrelevant to kind of say they have this much left or this much. There's not a guy out there that they couldn't sign because of the cap. They can do what they want. So now, is it the smartest thing to do? No, they got to be. You got to be smart about it. But at the same time, they really don't it doesn't work that way. They can do what they need to do. All right, let's go to some more questions. I think we're done here with Malik Hooker. We know what we've got here. Let's move on to some of the other ones. How about Jose Rodriguez? I feel Will Greer is having a great camp and has made some really nice plays. Do you think he can overtake Cooper Rush for quarterback 2? Could he? Yeah, he probably could. Are they going to be comfortable with that? Not sure. When you win games for a coach, especially the way that Cooper Rush has done the last 2 years, who's to say that Will Greer is going to come in and do that? I think he gives you a little bit more versatility. Obviously, he's more mobile. He can run around, throwing the ball. I think he's got a stronger arm. I don't know if it's as accurate. So, but Cooper Rush has won games. So what could happen is they could give Will Greer a little bit more time in the preseason. Maybe he starts a whole game. Maybe he gets to play some, just to kind of give him that opportunity. As it stands right now, I would stick with Cooper Rush, but it's pretty close to the point where maybe Will Greer will get a shot here. All right, Jason from Atlanta. How come we never talk about Tyron Smith going to guard and Tyler Smith going to left tackle? We had Jason Peters move to guard last year. The question was from Jason from Atlanta, and it includes Jason Peters. Just so you know, Jason Peters is actually from Atlanta, Texas. I don't think he's the one that sent this question, but I'm all about irony here. Tyron Smith at guard, no. He's played tackle his whole career. And as much as it sounds weird, it's a lot faster inside, the players will say all the time. So he's more of a declining player. We know that. That's what happens when you get to his age. I think being on the outside, being able to get his strength, get his arms out there, and keep the rushers at a distance, I think that's probably better for him. He's never really played guard. I don't see this being the time to change it. Tyler Smith moves back and forth as well as anybody. I don't think you change anything there. All right, Terry Andrews, Fayetteville, North Carolina. How many running backs will they keep? And will Deuce fit into those plans if he makes it? Does it knock out Malik Davis, Rico Dowdle, Ronald Jones? I think Deuce is going to make the team. I do. I just think that he's too dynamic of a player in college to at least not try to see what he can give you. How many running backs do they keep? It could be 4 if those guys do different things. If Malik Davis can play a lot on special teams, or what does Ronald Jones do when he comes back from suspension? Rico Dowdle, same too. It's got to be special teams. It's got to be maybe a Hunter Lipke that could play some fullback, or Deuce with kick returns. You have Tony Pollard. I think you're going to have a solid backup there, and probably Malik Davis. Maybe Ronald Jones. So it's still early there, and there's a lot of things that can kind of happen in the preseason games as well. All right, another from the text line. This is just from a 713 number. Who has the lead in the kicking competition? No one. Brandon Aubrey, Tristan Vizcaino, they seem to mirror each other in practice. If he goes 4 for 6, I go 4 for 6. If he goes 2 for 3, I go 2 for 3. So they're about the same right now. And then one of them has a bad kick, the other one has a bad kick, and vice versa. So that's kind of where it stands right now. And nothing's really going to happen until we get to the games. And then from there, and it's not just these preseason games. It's all the preseason games, because everybody's got a couple of kickers, and you're going to be evaluating them as well. So there could be some Pro Bowl kickers out there that have backups that are, just trying to help them save their leg. And next thing you know, they went 6 for 7 or 6 for 6 in the preseason, and they may be a better option than what you've got. So every kicker that doesn't make the roster is going to be evaluated here. That's what's going to make it, that's what's going to be tough for Will McClay and his staff, but that's the nature of the business. There's a lot of guys out there, and it's not like you have to know the system. You come in and you can kick. If you can kick, you can kick. Odell Campbell Jr., Rock Hill, South Carolina. His question, we haven't heard much from Overshown. Do you think he's a game day guy or rather than a practice guy? Well, I think most linebackers are probably better in the games than they are in practice because you're not going to go out there just knocking people's heads off. I also think he's trying to figure things out. He's playing a lot of different positions. The light bulb maybe hasn't come on just yet for DeMarvion Overshown, but I do think that it will, and I think Dan Quinn's going to put a lot on his plate. But also, yeah, the games is where you're going to see a guy flash and really make a play. We haven't really seen that from him yet. All right, I talked about this earlier in the show. Cowboys C from Pensacola, Florida. Who's the starting 5 linemen in the first preseason game? Who are you going to watch closely? That's a good question, man, because you know it's not going to be Tyron Smith. You know it's not going to be Zach Martin. And Biadasz, maybe. I wouldn't think so, though. Only Tyler Smith, I could see it because he hasn't played a lot of left guard, and get him some reps in the game would be good. Now, he did it in preseason last year, if you remember, because Tyron didn't get hurt till we got back to Frisco. So he's done it in the games. I could see him doing a little bit there. I'm going to say, let's go. We'll be in there at left tackle. I'm just going to say Tyler Smith for now. Farniok at center. Josh Ball, right guard. Chuma Edoga at right tackle. That's what would be my starting 5 on the offensive line if we had to do it right now. All right. Let's go to some other questions here. How about William Houchins? It's my man, William Houchins. He had asked Malik Hooker this question. We couldn't get this question to him. How's the scheme going to allow you to be the best that we knew you would be? To be the type of player we all thought from you. And I think this type of scheme, if you go back and look at Dan Quinn in Seattle, Legion of Boom, right? Earl Thomas, Chancellor, Richard Sherman, and these corners. I mean, the secondary was great, but to me, it was the pass rush. It was a constant rotation of guys that could really just go and fly, fly around the ball and get to the quarterback. And I think that's what Dan Quinn's trying to create here. Obviously, you got Micah Parsons, you got Tank, you got Dorrance Armstrong, you got Sam Williams, you got these rushers, Dante Fowler. And I think when they get that and they do that the way that he did it in Seattle, that will create a secondary like he had there, and that's where guys can just play center field like you talk about. Just go make the play. Malik Hooker and Jaron Curse and Donovan Wilson, and of course your corners there, and Gilmore and Diggs and Bland. To me, it still starts with the pass rush. And that's why I think that Malik Hooker has a chance to really to be great, and that's why I think it's smart for him to sign, because the money is good, it's fair. And are you going to go to another team that has a pass rusher like this and a coordinator like this? I don't know. So it seems like it's a smart move for him, and he was able to do it and knock it out. So that is the news of the day. Is Malik Hooker has agreed to a deal as we stand here on Friday afternoon from Oxnard. I'm not sure it's officially been signed. It may not even be turned into the league. But it looks like he has agreed to a 3-year extension. He'll be with the Cowboys for the next 4 seasons now. And what a great move for him and the entire secondary when you think about what they did with Donovan Wilson in the offseason and going to get Gilmore and then signing Trayvon Diggs since we've been out here, really shoring up that secondary for the Cowboys. All right. Well, that's all we have time for today. A lot of great questions. Thank you guys for being versatile with us. Chris Beam, the producer, he was the man. He set up this setup 2 times today, so I may have to buy him a beverage or 6. Just kidding. He doesn't drink that much. All right, let's get out of here. It's Friday afternoon. Let's go. Thank you for everybody on Cowboys Storyline. Next week, I think we're going to get some pretty good guests. Like I've said before, this show is for the fans, so maybe we can make it for the fans, if you know what I mean. Let's see if we can work on that. Should be fun next week. Stay with us, Cowboys Storyline. We'll see you next week.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this?